Hi everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Tax Tips channel. My name is Cherry Chen, a chartered accountant located in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. And I'm on a mission to become the Google map for hardworking Canadians seeking financial freedom. And today, we're very fortunate to have Erwin Szeto here on the show. Erwin is a professional investor, 4 times Realtor of the Year to Investor, top 40 under 40, 2 times like top 40 under 40.
That's not just once.
Oh, just once, okay. 2 times Commodity Leadership Awards, and he's being named the top 20 Canadian real estate influencer. And he's the co-founder of Hamilton Basket Brigade, which is a charity dedicated to help local Hamilton people who are less fortunate than us. And he also owns a 8-figure real estate portfolio. And that's quite an introduction, to be honest. I'm so proud of you.
I'm impressed you remember all these things.
And the most important part is that he's also known as my husband and my kid's father.
Yeah, just outside, you're Cherry's husband. Oh, yes, that's me.
Who said that?
One of your staff.
Oh, really? Cool. For real. Okay, so...
I'm not joking.
I have you here, which is awesome. For any of the guests coming onto the show, I want to share some of your journey. Start off with sharing some of the journey that you have experienced. And I know you are a real estate investor. And when I first met you, you are a real estate investor. And so tell us how you start on this real estate investment journey.
I started because I wasn't making enough money. I had a job. Again, I wasn't making enough money. I had no savings after paying taxes and my car expense and girlfriend costs.
Not you.
It was actually my girlfriend at the time, and also under the mentorship of her father, that we got into real estate investing. It wasn't my choice. That's how it started.
So to my understanding, because that's what you told me before, when you first started, you actually wanted to go into stock trading, whereas your girlfriend at the time and her whole side of family decided to go into real estate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell us about your experience with stock trading.
So my girlfriend's father, he being a master plumber and having a sizable plumbing business and renovation business, they were comfortable with what's physical, the physical world stuff, including renovations. Me being graduated from business school, I learned a lot around stocks, financial markets, portfolio theory, all sorts of things. Never talked about real estate, so I was trying to invest in what I knew, but the timing was pretty terrible. The timing was quite terrible because around 2007, 2008, I lost probably close to half of my investments, which was which was all my savings. All my savings went to investing, and thankfully I had some money in real estate as well. So even during a financial crisis, we were actually doing extremely well on the real estate side. So then I just dedicated more time to building real estate and taking the deep dive into being as good a real estate investor as it can be.
Okay, tell us about the worst real estate deal that you have invested in.
So there's a lot of real estate training out there around, to find a good deal, you need to buy an off-market deal. So someone had contacted my girlfriend's family about a property they wanted to sell. Their partner had passed, so the other partner had inherited a duplex, a legal duplex, and asked my girlfriend's family if they're interested in buying it. And they'd already spoken to a realtor, so they showed us the realtor package. And then, and then in a private meeting with my family at the time, I said, "Hey, let's offer them $30,000 less than what they want, what the realtor thinks they can get. We're getting an off-market deal. Probably getting a great deal." So they went back with that. They immediately accepted. That was like, "Oh crap! I think we overpaid." And we were new to real estate investing. You know the term that everything is relative. Everything is. A lot of houses are a lot nicer than a house that was built in 1870, which is what we bought. So this house didn't have a basement flooring. It was dirt. The foundation wasn't concrete based. It was tree logs.
What?
Seriously. So whenever there was like serious rain or snow melt, the basement would flood.
Oh my God.
Because someone very smartly, no, I'm joking, someone actually paved the driveway to slope all towards the basement window. And then all the other problems that come with buying a house that's from the 1800s. So ancient plumbing, ancient electrical, loads of maintenance. So we never cash flowed on that property. The tenants always complained about having brown water coming out of the taps.
That's gross.
Yeah. But thankfully, like that girlfriend I married and we got divorced, so they kept the house in the divorce. So I exited with my money and some small profit. So still, even after all those troubles, I exited with like a 20% return, on average, roughly per year. I got my money back, and I no longer have to deal with that property. Thank God for divorce.
You were just telling everyone it was girlfriend. Okay, so next.
Oh no, I take responsibility as my I helped write the offer. But again, like everything relative, we didn't know what we were doing. We weren't making educated decisions. But the silver lining though is that we bought that like during the financial crisis, and then the thing about the financial crisis was nobody else could get a mortgage. We were in a strong financial position, so we got a mortgage. Nobody else was, because things got worse. So then everyone who could buy couldn't. And now they're all becoming tenants. And now us being now landlords, we had a lot of tenants to choose from. So that was actually great. Our rents went up versus my stock portfolio was going down.
Okay, from there, you become an investor-focused real estate agent. And that was around the time we met.
Yes, which is around 2009, 10? 11,
Anyway, this
13?
is why, that's how you get into like all these fight with your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, besides the point, how did you become an investor-focused agent? Because at the time, it wasn't a thing at all.
Correct. There were a lot of people that said they were, but then if you start asking questions, maybe 5% of the business they did were investments. That was my experience, and I interviewed a lot of agents because I was working with a broker who owned his office and also another office. So he was very successful as well. But whenever, like I'm a student of economics, I was going through significant training to treat my investing as a business. So I would speak to this broker about, hey, this highway's brand new. I want to buy near there because I think there's going to be growth opportunity as people recognize the benefits of that highway. And his response was, everyone's known about that highway for like 10 years. It's already been priced in. And well, I think the market on average has gone up around 20% around that area since then. So he thought it was priced in versus, and this is the person I'm paying real estate commissions to. And to me, a realtor is, how I view realtors is they're high-end professional services consultants, right? And if you're going to be expensive, you better justify your cost. And in my opinion, his cost wasn't being justified. I interviewed a lot of other agents, getting referrals from other investors. No one lived up to my standard, so I decided to get licensed for myself just to trade my own family's portfolio. That was the decision.
Okay, from that journey on, you found your money partner, which is me. You convinced an accountant who owned a really nice townhome in Toronto to refinance my property and then become the money partner and invested with you. I remember I went out to St. Catharines with him once, and we saw a couple of properties. We put in the offer, but it wasn't the right one because it didn't pass the home inspection.
Yeah, that basement was collapsing.
And
Glad we didn't get that one.
And then you went out because I still had a job at the time, and so you bought another property. I never saw the property myself. How did you convince Cherry to become your money partner?
Investing is purely financials, right? So the property. So it's not just financials, but based on the location of the property, it was an A++ area for our target tenant profile, which was Brock University students. It was in, again, it was an A++ area. I saw a for sale sign, like a homemade for sale sign, and I called it right away. I talked to the lady, I saw the house. It was perfect. It was well maintained. And then I called you, and then I told you the numbers over the phone. You know, we have 6 bedrooms. At the time, probably around $450 a bedroom.
$450.
So $450 a bedroom. So about $2,700 a month. And the lady had also spoken to realtors, so she showed me what the realtor said they should get for it. And again, knowing that it was exactly what we wanted, in terms of knowing that it would be a high-performing investment, paid her what she wanted. We offered her exactly what she wanted.
No negotiation.
No negotiation. It was more about we needed to lock that up. I think we paid $235 for it.
Yeah, something like that.
$235,000 house for a very nice house. All we needed to do was add some rooms in the basement. Otherwise, it was very nice. We had to replace the roof pretty soon after as well. But again, $2,700. Of course, these numbers don't exist today. What was the year? 2013?
It's more than $2,700. It's just the purchase price is no longer $235,000. It's more like $735,000 now.
Oh, it's over 8 now.
It's over 8?
Yeah, it's over 800,000
cool.
now.
See?
The house can be duplexed, right? So.
Yeah. So at the time, I was the money partner, so I was on title. I qualified for mortgages.
Yeah, and I called you and I gave you the numbers of the phone, so you decided.
Yes. The most important part is that I just dated this guy for a year. And I was on the phone, and I'm buying this house that I've never seen at all, and I didn't see it until way after closing. I didn't even go in to see the home inspection at all.
Yeah, I went.
In my head, yeah, you think that you thought that you went, but in a woman's mind, at the time, all I think is, okay, if our relationship doesn't go well, all I need to do is just kick him out of this whole thing. We never signed any documentation. Shame on you for not forcing to sign that documentation. He did ask. And I said, okay, let's do it. But then he never really did it, carry through, so.
I knew.
So then we have our daughter, Robin. Robin was born 2014.
Yeah.
And then you bought a house immediately after.
Yes.
And why?
Because I was laying awake at night on my phone. Unlike these days.
As always.
Unlike these days.
He's never changed. He's always on his phone in bed.
I like to read, especially, and that's one of my preferential times to read, late at night. And because I always have questions when I have space and time and space, I have questions. For the questions that were going through my head was, well, they were inspired by the fact we just had a baby, our first baby, a daughter, beautiful daughter. And I was thinking, how much would it cost to send a kid to university? So I Googled on my phone, lying in bed, Googling, how much does it cost to send a child to university? And what do you know, there was an article written like that year, the year before, about worked in inflation. And, for whoever's watching, think about it. What do you think it costs to send, 18 years from now, what does it cost to send someone to university? All right, so think about it. I didn't know the answer, so I Googled it. I found an article in the Globe and Mail, and they did the math for me. Based on the rate of inflation on education expenses, they were predicting a 4-year undergraduate degree, tuition alone would be $70,000. $70,000.
In total?
For 4 years of tuition alone.
4 years, okay.
Right, tuition alone. What if they wanted to go do an MBA? What if they want to be a doctor or a lawyer? And then for fun, feel free to look up what it costs to go to dentistry school. I know the answer because I've looked it up. So I was thinking, well, I don't want to work forever, so someone else needs to pay for this. And to me, student debt isn't the right answer. So knowing what I knew was that the best investment to be able to achieve a return to cover what her expenses would be buy a house. So in March, just 2 months after my daughter was born, we bought her a house as an investment property.
To fund her future education someday.
Yeah. Want me to share numbers?
18 years later.
18 years later, and also I want her to be able to start a life on her own with less debt. So the house would also be able to be like a down payment for her first home as well.
Okay, so we started this thing alongside with this whole journey of buying houses. We started this thing called Stock Hacker Academy. I'm a co-founder of Stock Hacker Academy, and Erwin is a co-founder of Stock Hacker Academy. I remember in 2019 or even 2017, you came home one night and said to me, I need money to trade options. And I was like freaking out. I'm not going to let my family throwing the money down the drain. And then in 2019, you come back again and you wanted to trade and tell us about that journey. Why did we start this whole Stock Hacker Academy journey?
So what happened was in 2017, a gentleman I knew at a real estate network shared with me that how he was funding his real estate investment purchases was through selling stock options. And then, so he told me 2 books to read, one book by Lee Lowell and the other book by Derek Foster. So I read those books and I did nothing. And then I ran into that same guy 2 years later in Mississauga at a cafe. And I was at a meeting, he was having a meeting. When his meeting was over, he sat down and said, hey, you need to be doing this. And I go, I'm good. This stuff sounds complicated. And he says, well, you know that electrician that we both use? Yes, I know him. I know Paisan. My friend says, he made 6 figures in his first year. I'm like, yeah, be kidding me. Because if he can do it, if Paisan can do it, I can do it. So then I called Paisan, I took him out for lunch, he showed me some basics. I'm like, okay, if you can do this and it's like this, then I can do it too. And that's why I dropped some more crazy ideas on you and asked for money.
So you started trading in stock options in 2019, right? And we started bringing the authors of these books that he was recommended to read, including Lilo and Derek Foster.
Yeah.
And
best-selling authors.
Yes.
Derek is 6-time best-selling author. Yeah,
why do you think Stock Hacker Academy is so good for real estate investors?
Because just like us as real estate investors, we're having trouble generating cash flow. We've refinanced properties. We've had to pay market prices for property, and that doesn't leave much cash flow. And then if you have a significant capital expenditure, like we just had a flood at one property, we have a stove that needs to be replaced at another property. What else do we have going on?
Many.
The house that we joint ventured on, or you bought, I had nothing to do with.
I own 100%, yes.
It flooded in 2019?
Yeah, multiple times it had 2 flood.
Yeah, the most recent one was 2019?
Yeah.
In 2019, the summer of 2019, it flooded with this whole climate change, whether you believe it or not. There seems to be more rain. And we had a whole bunch of rain. That basement flooded, $10,000 deductible, wiped out all our cash flow. Again, like from the beginning of my journey, I've always been interested in the stock market. And then one of my greatest regrets is not having the knowledge to have bought a lot of quality stocks during the financial crisis, because I probably could have retired on a lot of that. So I enjoy making money, and the only thing I enjoy as much as I enjoy making money is to share with others how to make money.
So if you want to find out more about Stock Hacker Academy, you can visit stockhackeracademy.ca below. Okay, leave us with something inspirational. It could be a quote, it could be a lesson that you've learned, it could be a lesson that everybody should learn.
I was chatting with my friends today, with everything going on, COVID mandates, protests, whatnot. My comment was, every piece of information I take in, I honestly think about how can I profit from it. Take, for example, Joe Rogan has guests on his show who say that big pharmaceutical companies will benefit from whatever's going on. You know what I did? I checked the price of Pfizer and Merck. Right? And when I got my Google bill for last week, my Google bill is $300 a month. My first thought was not stupid Google. It was, I should go buy some shares of Google. Right? So I take in information, I look to implement it, and how for myself and my family can benefit.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for joining my YouTube channel. And if you like our video, make sure that you share and subscribe and hit the notification button below. I'll be releasing more tax tips video in the near future, so you would first get notified. Thank you for watching.